Hi everybody, it's Mr. Shuey. This is a YouTube video on how to do the isometric drawing. It was the first drawing we did in class. So if you weren't in class, you're staying home for now, you might need to do this. If you did this drawing here, you're all set. I'm going to go from here to the computer and show you how to do the drawing. It shouldn't take but a couple of minutes. You do need to have this isometric graph paper, and the drawing will be done all on the blue lines. You won't go off the blue lines. And you're going to want a pencil, sharp pencil, and you can use a pen if you're good, but I would use a pencil, and a ruler with 1-inch increments, or English measure, 1 to a foot. We are not doing, for this lesson, we are not doing centimeters and millimeters, which is metric. We're only going to need to know, I'm looking at my computer, 2 inches and 3 inches. And notice that we start on the line here, not the end of the ruler. All right, let's go to the computer. Okay, welcome back. So this is a close-up of the paper that we're using. It's called isometric graph paper, and it's done on an angle instead of the 1/4-inch graph paper you're probably used to for math class. And the reason that it's on an angle like that is to do a 3D view of an object. So this is a quick, easy way to sketch a 3D sketch of an object. Here's my ruler I'm going to use. It's upside down here. Let me turn it over. Yeah, this is better. There's the 0 point. It's not on the end of the ruler. It's in a little bit. We're going to do 2 inches and 3 inches for this drawing. Just 2 inches and 3 inches, no fractions. First thing you're going to do is your paper needs to be landscape, which is wider than it is tall. And you're going to go along the bottom and you're going to find the center vertical line. So I'm marking it with a dot. You can use measurements or you can count the line, whichever you want. And then we're going to go vertically up from that point 2 inches. So we're going to go on the blue lines, up the middle blue line, 2 inches up from the blue border, and we're going to make a dot. So we're staying on the grid for this drawing. You should not have marks in the middle of the grid, right on the blue lines. So we want to do a 3-inch line vertically up the middle, because this is a cube that we're drawing that is 3 inches tall and 2 inches on each side. So I'm carefully lining my ruler up with the grid, starting at 0, and I'm going to draw a line straight down to the dot that I made. Here's our first line. So now we're going to do the sides. So the sides are at an angle, they're 2 inches. And I'm going to line it up with the blue line on the grid. And the 0 should end up at one of the intersections of the lines on the grid. That's one direction, 2 inches in the other direction. Try to be careful with your pencil and lining up your ruler. Hold the pencil at the same angle. There you go. So now you should have what looks like a downward facing arrow. And all of our sides are 3 inches. So all the vertical lines, see the middle one is 3 inches. So this one is going to be 3 inches. And once again, make sure you're lining up with your grid on your paper. If you've done it right, the 0 should be near one of the intersections. There's one side. There's the other side. Now the cool thing about these isometric drawings on graph paper is they kind of lay themselves out. You really don't even need to do any more measuring. You're going to connect the dots and follow the grid lines. This is the top of the 2-inch side on the right, and This is the top of the 2-inch side on the left. And if you stayed on the grid, you won't even have to measure it, just automatically does it for you. So this is a 3-view drawing, so we're drawing the back of the cube this way. Stay on the grid and do that, and then where they intersect will be right. So once again, this is called an isometric drawing. It's a 3D view drawing. You're looking at it upside down here, so it's a little bit weird to see. Now we need some dimensions on here. So we draw extension lines that don't touch the object, and they come off the point that we're measuring to. You put the dimension in the middle with, for inches, quotation marks, and for feet, an apostrophe. Then you have to draw your dimension line all the way to your extension line and put an arrow on the end. Now these extension lines are going to come off at an angle, the same angle that the grid follows. And they don't touch, and the reason they don't touch is because they're not part of the object. They're just dimensions, so they don't touch the object. So that lets the viewer know that this isn't part of the object, it's just information about the object. It just tells you the size. Alright, you notice I'm doing a little freehand here for this first sketch. I'm not worried too much about it. If you have trouble drawing straight lines, use your ruler. The arrows need to go all the way to the extension lines. If the arrow is short, the person looking at the drawing doesn't know if you mean the measurement to go to the end of your arrow or to where the extension lines are. And once again, the extension lines need to come off of the point that you're measuring. So we're measuring sides here. Alright, now we have all the information we need to redraw this or to create it on a 3D printer, or you might make it in a metal shop, or you might do it with woodworking. I would like you to add the scale of the drawing to your drawing. So this drawing is 1 inch equals 1 inch. So in actual size, the drawing would be the same size as the shape. And with really large stuff, you can't do that. You have to make it a smaller scale to fit on the paper. And then please put your first and last name at the bottom of the paper. So if you've done all that, you're done. You've got your drawing. Alright, there you go. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. Notice the gaps between the extension lines there. The number for the measurement goes in between the line. You need to have a break in your dimension line and go in between it, and the arrows go all the way to the extension. That line is the same as that line, is the same as that line. This line is the same length and angle as this one and this one. This line is the same length and angle as this one and this one. So there you go, that's an isometric drawing. And what I want you to know is what an isometric drawing is, how to do dimension lines, and how to lay it out on the grid. So if you've done that, you're going to get 100 for your first tech grade. Pretty simple, cool stuff. You could use this drawing to draw a building, a cabinet, a table, maybe even a car or a truck if you broke the shape down into rectangles. Watch this, I did my T upside down. Not good. All right. See ya.